Nobody see migrate, never get no one. And nobody come to his rescue. A little 16-year-old boy just get wiped out just like that for nonsense.
Only hours after he saw his son off to high school earlier that day.
Told him I love him, and I said, I'll see you when you get back. I love you, son.
Tragically, these are the last images he'd see of Sincere alive, walking across Liberty Avenue moments after being shot once in the chest, then sitting down to rest before collapsing.
He sleeping, so I do try. You stand up, and what happened? I say what happened, but he no give answer.
Deli workers say they had no idea what was happening.
It's a mild Wednesday afternoon in Jamaica, Queens, March 26, 2025, just after the school day. 16-year-old Sincere Jazmin steps off the Q83 city bus on Liberty Avenue, only a few blocks away from his home. It is around 2:40 p.m., and in an instant, the figure approaches Sincere and opens fire, a sharp crack cutting through the afternoon bustle. Sincere feels a sudden searing pain in his chest. A discharge has struck him directly in the torso. For a split second, shock and confusion overwhelm the teen. Bystanders gasp and duck at the sound, though some don't immediately realize what has happened. Sincere stumbles, instinctively clutching his chest where the round hit. His heart pounding, adrenaline surging. He struggles to stay on his feet. He doesn't collapse immediately. Instead, without breaking stride, he looks down at his chest in disbelief. Each breath is suddenly labored and hot with pain. Determined to survive, Sincere starts moving, heading for the corner deli up ahead. Inside the small bodega on Liberty Avenue, afternoon customers and workers are oblivious to the danger outside. The door swings open and Sincere staggers in, eyes wide open and face pale. He manages to take a seat on a small step inside the deli, pressing a hand against his wounded chest. There was no immediate visible blood on him to alarm the deli workers, because his jacket and hand were covering the wound, and the single discharge hadn't been loud enough to bring it to the attention of anyone inside the store. To the onlookers in the deli, it almost seemed like Sincere had just suddenly fallen ill. In the span of seconds, his strength fades. He collapses onto the floor, his back against the door's frame. Startled, a delivery man dropping off bail rushes toward him. The driver shouted to the walker, who frantically dials for help. Sincere's vision blurs. He slips in and out of consciousness, fighting to stay awake. With trembling effort, he manages to sit up for a moment as if trying to will himself to stand, only to collapse one more time, critically injured. To those who knew him, Sincere Jazmin was far more than the victim of a shocking attack. He was 16 years old, a beloved son, brother, and friend. His family affectionately nicknamed him Boo Boo, and they remember him as a gentle teen who was always smiling. It's incomprehensible to his family that his life could be cut short in such a brutal way. Sincere was a junior at a local Queens high school, a young man with big dreams and creative talent. In his free time, he was an aspiring rapper, writing and performing his own lyrics. In fact, he had even recorded a clip of himself rapping about the dangers of discharges, a chilling foreshadowing of the vial that would later claim his life. Music was one passion, fashion was another. Sincere also loved style and design, and he talked of becoming a fashion designer one day, using his creativity to make a mark in the world. That Wednesday began like any other. Miguel gave his son a hug before school in the morning, unaware it would be their final embrace. Sincere left home with a smile, heading off to classes and promising to be back in the afternoon. No one in the family could have imagined that by 3 p.m. they'd be living a nightmare. The bright, energetic teenager who bounced a basketball in the yard and lit up every room with his grin would never make it home. His hopes and plans were all suddenly stolen.
You're my son. You're my prince. Daddy loves you.
This Brooklyn father's seemingly unbreakable bond with his teenage son ripped away.
I felt like I lost my soul, honestly. I lost my heart, my son. It's my baby boy.
Miguel Jazmin told me he feels nothing, totally numb, just a little more than 24 hours after his 16-year-old son, Sincere Jazmin, was murdered.
It still feels like a dream to me. You know, been laying down in his bed and holding the covers and see if I still can, you know, smell his scent. My son would not have went to go fight this man if he knew he had a weapon. He would have just went the other way.
This video of father and son recorded just days ago. Jazmin telling me his son was an aspiring rapper and future fashion designer.
My son was very talented.
Little did he know Wednesday morning, sharing a hug before school would be their final embrace.
I'm just grateful that I got to hold him in my arms one last time. Waited for the nurses and the doctors to let us know if my son was still breathing or was he gonna pull through. I got to hold him one last time in my arms, give him a kiss.
A gut-wrenching goodbye.
As classes ended that day, Sincere made his way onto the Q83 bus headed home just as he often did. But on this particular afternoon, trouble was riding that bus too. According to police sources, Sincere became embroiled in an argument with another teenage boy during the bus ride home. The other teen was reportedly not a student at Sincere's school. According to reports, the two teens exchanged heated words as the bus rumbled through Jamaica. Exactly what sparked this confrontation remains unclear as of this video, but it was serious enough that both of them were visibly agitated. Investigators would later reveal that they believed the attack was linked to an ongoing dispute in school, possibly stemming from prior bad blood between Sincere and this rival teen. In fact, Sincere's own sister and girlfriend would say that there had been tensions at John Adams High School, a local school tied to this conflict. Passengers on the bus could feel the hostility and some may have edged away as the two 16-year-olds argued. What we do know is that the confrontation did not de-escalate. As the bus neared Sincere's stop, the feud was about to turn vile.
I don't even know how to feel. I feel numb.
Today at the same deli, Michelle, who says Jazmin is her older brother, and Jalen, his girlfriend.
He was a gentleman. He was like sweet, he was always there for his friends. Anybody who he loved, he was always there for them. He was very genuine, loyal.
They shared with me a video clip of him rapping about bullets.
Bullets giving you cancer.
They say the shooting stemmed from an ongoing dispute at John Adams High School, a death that's left Jazmin's family devastated. Police outside their home in Jamaica, where basketballs linger by the lawn, and crying could be heard just beyond the door.
We call him Boo Boo. All he do is smile all the time. Just quiet, nice, young boy. All he does is smile.
His aunt wondering why a dispute had to turn so violent.
Take a look at this surveillance video we obtained that captures the teen victim who walked nearly a block after being hit to a nearby deli. That's where a worker there had encountered him. This morning, Sincere's great aunt puzzled as to why he didn't get help sooner, and the gut-wrenching reality, he's gone.
Nobody see my great nephew get shot, no one. And nobody come to his rescue. A little 16-year-old boy just get wiped out just like that for nonsense. Why you got to go gun violent, this thing have to stop. They have to take these guns off the street. I'm disgusted to my heart. I don't know what to do. Boo Boo is gone. We can never call my Boo Boo again. We can never call him. We can never ever call him again, ever. I can't stay away with you. I can't say why you're not home yet. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. He's gone. He's gone forever. We can't touch him. We can't hug him. We can't do nothing to him anymore. Because some selfish person just took him away from us.
According to witnesses and surveillance footage, the rival teen was lying in wait. He was ready to strike as soon as Sincere got off. In a flash, the assailant assumed a shooter's stance, feet planted and arm raised. He pulled out a firearm and opened fire at near point-blank range, targeting Sincere before the teen could even react. A single discharge rang out, hitting Sincere directly in the chest.
Harry Patel is the deli worker in the white hoodie who walked over to try to help him up.
He sleeping, so I do try. You stand up, and what happened? I say what happened, but he no give you answer.
Deli workers say they had no idea what was happening. There was no blood, they couldn't see any injuries. They say the victim didn't ask for help or say what happened. He didn't say a word. They didn't hear gunshots, but he was holding his chest in pain.
I think afraid.
He afraid.
Yeah.
He looked afraid.
Yeah.
I see somebody fall down here.
Yeah.
Like
So he called me.
I tell the guy go over there.
What did you think when you saw him falling down? What did you think?
I don't know what happened. He coming outside. I don't know outside. I don't know what happened.
The victim managed to walk a long block before he collapsed in front of that deli, but he was shot closer to this body shop. Security cameras here captured a short confrontation. As soon as he stepped off that bus, the suspect walked up to him, popped him in his chest, and then took off. Video shows them running off in opposite directions.
One neighbor later remarked how unbelievable it was to see a teen ambushed in the middle of the day on their block, the brazen nature of the crime having shocked the entire community. NYPD patrol officers from the 103rd Precinct were the first on the scene, responding within minutes. They found Sincere lying on the deli's threshold, unconscious and unresponsive, with bystanders hovering over him. The officers quickly secured the area and checked Sincere's condition. A discharge had pierced his chest and he had lost a significant amount of blood. They radioed for emergency medical services and began basic first aid, but the situation was dire. Paramedics arrived and swiftly took over, loading Sincere onto a stretcher. Even as they worked frantically, the teen had no pulse. The ambulance raced off to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, just a couple miles away, with EMTs performing CPR en route. Sincere was in critical condition and fighting for his life. Every second counted as they rushed through Queens traffic. At the hospital, trauma doctors and nurses attempted everything they could have to save the 16-year-old. They transfused blood, opened his chest to relieve the hemorrhaging, and tried to get his heart beating again. But the damage from the single wound was catastrophic. Despite the heroic efforts of first responders and surgeons, sadly, Sincere could not be saved. Not long after arriving at the ER, Jazmin was pronounced gone and a doctor was tasked with stepping out to quietly inform the waiting officers. Back at Liberty Avenue, yellow police tape was going up around the deli and the sidewalk, marking off the crime scene. Detectives had arrived and begun interviewing witnesses. Some bus passengers and locals were still on the scene, shell-shocked by what they had seen or heard. Many could scarcely believe that a teenager had lost his life in their midst in broad daylight. Less than 6 hours after the incident, a swarm of NYPD officers, detectives, and a SWAT team descended on a house on the 196th Street in the St. Albans neighborhood of Queens. They believed the suspected assailant might be hiding out at his home. Neighbors watched in astonishment as police waited for a search warrant to take down the door of the residence. The street was blocked off. Officers in tactical gear stood at the ready. A tense hush fell over the block. Finally, with warrant in hand, they breached the door and swept inside. But the house was empty. After hours of searching, officers left empty-handed that night. The 16-year-old suspect was nowhere to be found. He had vanished, possibly warned that police were on his trail. Detectives interviewed the suspect's mother when she returned home, and she claimed that she didn't know where her son was. According to police sources, the boy's family was cooperative, but the trail was growing cold as he remained in hiding. Crime Stoppers tips continued to come in, and officers checked numerous addresses, hangouts, and friends' houses where the suspect might have been laying low. For now, the teenage assailant had slipped away, leaving the community fearful that someone capable of ending a life in cold blood was walking free.
Now, yesterday, there had been a large number of police that went to a specific home on 196th Street in St. Albans. They waited for a search warrant to take down a door, but hours later, they left empty-handed.
I had never seen him a day in my life. Never.
What do you think when you see him?
I hope they find him.
Jazmin says his son was headed to the music studio before the deadly encounter, explaining he was into drill rap, a social media-driven genre that delivers stinging lyrics meant to taunt or retaliate against rival groups. Detectives still unclear if that led to his demise.
Parents should be on top of their kids and know who their friends, know where they're going.
Jazmin never dreamed this would be his reality when recording this video.
When I leave this earth, a piece of me will always be here. And it lies with him.
Just so emotional. We want to show you that video again of the suspect. Police say that he was last seen wearing a green hooded sweatshirt, gray sweatpants, was wearing multicolored sneakers and carrying a black and gray backpack. If you know where he is, you are urged to call police. The victim's family is calling for justice.
Police patrols were increased around the neighborhood in case he returned to the area. Undercover units watched the homes of known associates as well. NYPD also kept a presence at local high schools, both to gather information and to prevent any retaliatory violence if the incident was part of a larger gang rivalry. Rumors swirled among students about what had happened and why. Some said it was over a goal. Others claimed it was about something that occurred on social media, while a few whispered it was gang-related. The police, however, focused on concrete evidence, video footage, witness statements, and forensic clues. As of this video, the suspect is still being sought by police. Detectives continue to chase every lead, and there is confidence that justice will come soon. Nothing can bring back the bright smile of Sincere Boo-Boo Jazmin. He should have arrived home that afternoon to tease his little sister, work on a new rap in his notebook, or simply enjoy a family dinner. Instead, his name is now added to the tragic roll call of young lives lost too soon. May the family and friends of Sincere Jazmin find solace in the happy memories, and may his soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.